In Washington, on March 28th, Marco Rubio speaks with reporters. He says the United States can acquire all of the results it wants in Iran without a ground offensive. The forces it is sending are there just for emergencies, so that if the situation changes, the president will have the options available. He says the conflict will be finished in weeks, not months. But that's not what's happening on the ground. More than 50,000 American troops are already in the Middle East. That number is only going up. The Marines, paratroops, and naval strike groups are arriving from all directions. This isn't just a bang-bang defense posture. This is a build-up. Then, a major Navy asset enters the theater on March 27th. The USS Tripoli comes into U.S. Central Command waters after a fast and furious transit from Japan. It left on March 11th and crossed the Philippine Sea, the Strait of Malacca, and the Indian Ocean in just over 2 weeks. The speed of the transit speaks volumes about the urgency of the import. This is a Lightning carrier with the ability to fly up to 20 F-35B stealth fighters. On board is the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, about 2,200 Marines, with roughly 1,200 ground combat troops. Alongside this is the USS New Orleans, with thousands of Marines and support people. Altogether, this is an addition of roughly 3,500 American service members to the region, and they're being escorted by the USS Robert Smalls and the USS Rafael Peralta. Both of these carrier strike groups are armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles and have state-of-the-art Aegis defense systems. They can strike anywhere in the theater and protect against incoming missiles and drones. Altogether, this is a fully equipped expeditionary strike group, and more forces are already on the way. Now, the USS Boxer departs San Diego on March 18th, weeks ahead of schedule. On board is the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, supported by the USS Comstock and the USS Portland. This group carries another 2,200 Marines and around 2,000 sailors. The 11th MEU has a long combat history in the Gulf, including operations during the Gulf War and in Iraq. Now it is returning to the same region, its deployment accelerated specifically in response to rising tensions with Iran. When both Marine Expeditionary Units are fully in position, nearly 5,000 Marines will be within striking distance of Iran's coastline, supported by aircraft, amphibious landing craft, and multiple warships armed for combat. At the same time, airborne forces begin to mobilize. On March 25th, the Pentagon confirms that elements of the 82nd Airborne Division have received deployment orders. Around 2,500 troops from its immediate response force are sent forward, a unit designed to deploy anywhere in the world within 18 hours. The deployment includes 2 battalions and, critically, the division's command structure led by Major General Brandon Tegmeyer. This is a significant move. Deploying a full command element allows coordination of large-scale multi-service operations across the region. The 82nd Airborne specializes in rapid assault, parachuting into contested areas, securing airfields, and holding key infrastructure until larger forces arrive. These troops are now spread across a network of U.S. bases in the region. Al Udeid Air Base serves as a central hub. Located just 175 miles from Iran, it hosts major command operations. The base has already been targeted multiple times since the conflict began. On March 2nd, Iranian Su-24 bombers attempt a low-altitude strike, but are intercepted by Qatari F-15s just minutes before reaching their target. Then on March 28th, Prince Sultan Air Base is struck by Iranian missiles and drones, wounding at least 15 American personnel. Despite this, operations continue without interruption. At sea, carrier strike groups maintain constant pressure. The USS Abraham Lincoln continues launching air operations in the Arabian Sea. The USS Gerald R. Ford pulls back temporarily for repairs after weeks of high-intensity missions, while the USS George H.W. Bush moves in to reinforce the region. Naval forces are now spread across the Strait of Hormuz, the Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf, conducting continuous patrols and preparing for potential threats. The Strait of Hormuz remains the center of tension. Iran has restricted commercial shipping, allowing only select countries to pass. Nearly 20% of the world's oil normally flows through this narrow channel, and its disruption has pushed prices above $112 per barrel. Donald Trump sets a deadline for reopening the strait, first March 23rd, then extended to April 6th. Then, on March 29th, a critical development emerges. The Pentagon is actively preparing for ground operations inside Iran. These plans include the possible seizure of key oil infrastructure and targeted raids on coastal military positions near the strait. These would not be full-scale invasion operations, but limited high-impact missions carried out by a combination of special operations forces and conventional troops. The timelines being discussed range from weeks to a few months. The plans are described as detailed and already war-gamed. Meanwhile, the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit conducts chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense drills during its transit, indicating the level of risk being considered. Potential targets include missile systems, mine stockpiles, fortified islands, and strategic infrastructure. Now, all elements are converging. 2 Marine Expeditionary Units, an airborne command structure, tens of thousands of troops already in place. This is not a temporary deployment. This is a force positioned for a decision. Whether that decision has already been made or is waiting for a trigger remains unclear. A failed negotiation, another strike, or a confrontation in the strait could change everything. Officially, there is no plan for ground troops, but on the battlefield, the buildup continues, and every movement points in one direction, toward a decision that may come at any moment. Thanks for watching. This is Global Decode 13, where we break down global power, strategy, and geopolitics in simple terms. No noise, no hype, just clear understanding. If you want to see what's really happening beneath the headlines, make sure you're here for the next Decode. I'll see you in the next one.